How do I keep going if I feel like things are not panning out? I'm gonna just tell you the hard truth about this. Have you given yourself enough time to do the thing that you wanted to do? Have you given yourself enough belief that you were able to do what you want to do? I feel like a lot of creatives or artists or just people in general, they give up too easily when things get rough. Like, oh, you know what, this obstacle's in the way and now I feel like I can't do anything. That is the wrong mindset to have, guys. If you want to accomplish anything, especially by yourself, you need to believe in yourself 100%. And that means getting up on the days that you don't want to get up. And it means showing up when you don't want to show up. Okay, there's like so many glamorous things, about the social media life and all that, but 9 times out of 10 you don't see the raw struggle. Like when I book my shoots, sometimes I don't think about it. I'm like, oh shit, how do I get to my shoot? It just tells me that even though it's hard and even though it can get complicated and I'll have to take all these different routes, I will show up and I will do the best I can. And the days that you do not show up for yourself, it will really impact you. Okay, so you have to try your best to show up for yourself no matter what. Like, the reason why I'm doing this YouTube advice, I want to show up for myself. And this is the way that I'm showing up for myself. Even if I didn't want to get out of bed, I didn't want to film this. Sometimes you wake up in that energy and it's fine. But I feel like if you can find a way to channel that I don't want to into yes, I'm going to despite all odds, you're gonna be set for life, because that's the mentality you need to have. If you start something new or you're trying to build something, you must get up on those bad days. You have to work hard, okay? Hard work pays off. So if you're not putting in the work, of course you're not going to see any progress or any results. But say if you are, say if you're doing everything you can to do what you possibly can to fulfill your dreams, okay? Then take a step back and think about, okay, so I'm doing this. Is there anything else that I can do? Okay, so this person, I was supposed to work with them. They're supposed to partner with me or anything like that. Okay, so if that doesn't work out, do you have another plan? As a creative, there's so many people who come in and out of our lives, and sometimes things don't pan out and they don't work out, and it's not either one of your faults. It's just because it wasn't meant to be. And sometimes at that bottom line, you have to accept it and move on, work on yourself, empower yourself, empower others. And that's the type of mentality I have. I don't rely on someone 100% for my career. Are you kidding me? No, I work my ass off every single day to create and shoot and network and all of that, because I know what I'm doing, okay? And sometimes you need to have a plan like that. Like, okay, so you know what? This person rejects me, that's fine. This person rejects me, that's fine. You have to learn to do it yourself. And not a lot of people are going to tell you that, In this industry, you don't get handouts like that. It's just not how it works. You have to build upon yourself. And that also means that when the going gets rough, the more times that you say, okay, I'll stick with it, the farther you will get, okay? Then if you're like, oh, okay, I'm not going to commit. If you do not make a commitment to yourself, you will not go far. Because what is a commitment? A commitment means that you have agreed, based upon your values, based upon your lifestyle and all of that, that no matter what you're going through, no matter what circumstance you're in, it can be the most shitty circumstance, you have committed yourself to doing this one thing. And that, my friend, is building your habits, making them so strong that you have a foundation for yourself. So even if the going gets tough, you can do other things. You can look for other things to do. Within the path that you want to take, there's so many things that you can possibly do. And I'm just learning about that in 2020, okay? I'm new to all this too. But I feel like a lot of people give up when they're like, you know what, I put years into this, but did you know other people put in 10 years, they put in 20 years, they put in 30 years to get to be where they want to be. They just probably didn't tell you that, or it just shows, like the glamorous life, but they're in fact not living that glamorous life. I know that for a fact because I've witnessed it, and I can tell what is real from what's fake because I've just trained myself to think like that. And I think the reason why you feel like, oh, you know what, how do I keep going and things are not panning out, is because maybe your goals are not realistic as well. You have to make sure your goals are realistic, your dreams are realistic, and you have set out a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G so that you can accomplish it, okay? And for me, my plan was just to manifest everything by myself and to manifest the people that I want to create with, the people who, you know, my work will be shown to a client one day. That's kind of how I'm doing it, you know? And there's no rule book for this. It's just you learn on the go. It's literally street smarts, and no one will tell you that. So you have to keep an eye out on that for yourself. And maybe the reason why you feel like you're not going anywhere is because you're not keeping track of your progress too. If you learn to keep track of your progress, you will slowly see that 1% of the time, even if it's 1%, you are going somewhere because you are committing to that one thing you told yourself you were going to do. You have tasks, you have goals, you need all of that in order to progress and see your progress. So I feel that, you know, for me, I keep a bullet journal, and you know, if I didn't book a shoot because the casting director did not like me or I wasn't fit for the job, I'll be like, nope, I didn't book it in my journal. And then I'll just look back at it months later and be like, oh, but you know what? I booked something else because that job was not meant to be. And so sometimes you have to shift your perspective like that, because it actually helps you realize that, you know, that job wasn't for you, that partner wasn't for you, and all these different things. So make sure you do that. And another thing is a good support around you, because sometimes, you know, an artist can have the talent, they can have the hustle, but if they don't not have the support on those bad days, what do you think will happen? They will give up on themselves. You know, I don't know if you guys watched the documentary with Alexander McQueen, but that absolutely broke my heart, because if he had people, you know, who were really there for him and he was able to be open to it, he probably wouldn't have, you know, had that ending. But unfortunately, the industry really got to him, and it was so sad because he was such a young, happy guy, super talented, and that is what the industry did to him. And he allowed that to happen because you get so caught up in the industry, you know. And he is one of my favorite designers of all time, a Pisces like me. And I'm just using that story as an example that if you have the right support, if you have the right hustle, if you have the right talent, then, you know, that should just be the magical combination that you will be successful. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. Sometimes there are things in our life that we really have to reevaluate and see, is this good for me? To constantly ask yourself, because things change all the time, people change all the time, and it's really hard to discern what is good for you and what is not good for you. So I would practice doing that, practice making decisions. If you are not firm in your decision, it's going to be hard for you to get anywhere. You have to be super strong in the decisions you make and have super strong boundaries with those people, because if you don't, they're just going to take control of your life, you know, and you don't want that. You want the freedom to be able to build your own life. That is what I want, you know, so I don't let anyone do that to me. I try my best to be, you know, on my own, but I accept the help. I accept amazing creatives who want to work with me. They help build my portfolio, they help me, you know, go to a different crowd that I want to be in. So I allow the help 100%, but I don't 100% rely on them. I rely on myself, because you'll learn the hard way that you only have yourself really in this world. Anyone can go, anyone can die, and all these different things, and what do you have left? You have yourself. So you have to make sure your mental health is 100%. You have to make sure you're taking care of yourself. You have to make sure that, you know, your plans are realistic. You have to make sure that you have that support. And that is something you should actively and proactively work for, is someone's support. You know, make sure you always have it. And that just means checking with your friends every now and then. Do fun things with your friends, and sometimes that momentum, it inspires something else. And those inspirations, those spark of spontaneity in your life, like if you have just routine, it's going to be hard to get anywhere. Yes, you'll build good habits, but are you going to be continued inspired? Because I feel like creatives quit when things get like so complacent. They'd be like, okay, I did this, now what, you know? And so now you're in this now what moment. You have to find it, and you have to grab it, and you have to hold it with everything you can and decide, okay, so you know what, maybe I'm having creative block, this isn't working out, I need to take a hiatus, I need to take a break so I can figure things out. Sometimes you need to take a step back to realize, what are you actually doing? Are you putting out what you want to actually put out? You know, is your energy, is it reflecting in your work and all these different things? Sometimes when we're so into our project, like the little details, and we focus on these little things that don't even matter, that give us anxiety, you have to learn to take a step back and just look at your work for what it is, your body of work, your culmination of everything that you've done, and look at it and think, like, what can I do with it? Is there a way to save it if I feel like things are not panning out? Can I go in another direction that will, you know, fulfill the same path I want, but it's just a little different? Will I be able to learn? Will I put myself in that situation? You know, it's like, you have to have a plan for everything, guys, and you don't necessarily have to follow it, but if you have one, it's great, because your mind will be like, okay, this. If you don't have a plan and you're just starting from scratch, you need to do more research, you need to do more knowledge and figure out how it actually works, or get yourself out there and experiment whatever it is you want to do. Experience, that is what gives you wisdom. That is what gave me wisdom, guys, and that's why I'm sharing it with you, because I want you to keep going. I want you to keep hustling, you know, but especially in the state that our world is in right now, like, it's okay if you can't hustle the way you want it to. I know I can't, you know, there's a lot of things that I cannot do, and a lot more things that I have to think of now, like safety wise, and, you know, social distancing for my shoots. It's a lot of things I have to think of, you know, and it doesn't feel the same as it did before 2020, but this is what you have to do. You have to adapt to change given to you, you know. That means all the no's coming to you, all the rejections coming to you. You have to adapt. What will you do in that situation? And that, my friend, is what's going to make you stand apart from anyone else, okay? It's how do you adapt to the situation? You know, we couldn't do a lot of shoots during quarantine, so what? I did FaceTime shoots, I did virtual shoots. I try to figure everything out so that I can make it work and do what I still want to do, but just in another way. So you have to think of life in that sense, because there's no right way to do anything, period. You do it how you want to do it, and other people do it how they want to do it. And if you want to learn how they did it, you ask them, you learn from them. That is my biggest step, finding a mentor. I have so many amazing mentors that I follow, and we talk all the time about art and what it matters to us and the value. You need to have strong mentors, okay? Because you cannot do it by yourself. You can build habits by yourself, you can build a foundation by yourself, but in order to keep going, you need people, you need support, you need that love, because when the going gets tough, you're gonna want to quit. I've wanted to quit so many times, but I haven't, because I have amazing support, and my drive, the fire in me, will not let me quit no matter what, you know. And sometimes it takes having a change in your life. So that was a lot, but you can tell I'm really passionate about this, and I don't want you to give up too soon, too quickly, because you didn't give yourself enough chance to grow. So give yourself more time to understand your abilities, to understand your natural gifts, and put all that drive, creativity, love into whatever you want to do, and you will go far, okay? A long time from when I first started to get to be where I want to be and to have the influence that I have. So keep going no matter what. Show up on your bad days. Okay. I love you guys so much. Bye.